Craig one.
Changing Futures, scene David, take 2.
Yeah, I was going to talk about men and eating disorders. It's something that's quite often been overlooked in the past, and like it's something I've suffered with personally for like 30 years now, alongside the other problems I've had with drink and drugs. This is the one which I've been most embarrassed to kind of almost and to talk about publicly, because there is kind of like a bit of a stigma still around it in men. And it's just it's been just as disruptive and damaging to my health in a lot of ways. In some ways more so than the drink and drugs, because everyone knows you need food and whatnot, and if you're drinking and taking drugs and not eating, then it just amplifies it all, intensifies it. But it's like recently, thankfully, I've been getting a lot of help with it, and I'm now over the worst of it, I would say. But it sort of feels like it's just something that probably needs a bit more attention drawn to it, because, like I say, it's probably affected my health and your mental health, because the brain just doesn't function in the way it should when it's undernourished, and it leads to all kinds of negativity, and you're just constantly berating yourself and talking yourself down, and then that's amplified more so with the negative effects of drugs and alcohol. And I kind of felt as though it's just something I've never spoken about publicly before, and I kind of thought that maybe this is a platform to kind of not being so ashamed of it. Because a lot of people kind of assume eating disorders and anorexia with like teenage girls and the fashion industry, and it's about look when it's not. It's just another form of control, a way of when every other aspect of your life seems to be out of control. The one aspect of your life you do have control is what you put into your mouth, what you eat, and then of course it gets to the point where you're not in control, and you have no say because the mind's taken over, and it's telling you not to eat. Then it's berating you and antagonizing you and constantly, talking you into destroying yourself, which is, I find it kind of fascinating in a, psychological kind of way, how the body can, on so many levels, want to survive, but with this other part, it's just like so determined to for it to destroy itself. I guess it kind of like really came to like I'm not going to say it's worse, but I really noticed it was when I was last doing a detox in hospital, and I was trying to deal with the fact that I was, coming off painkillers and drink, and I was like having all, my only kind of, that was, it sounds ridiculous, but drink and drugs were, and painkillers and whatnot, were the only thing I sort of like still had any control over in my life, like when I took them and whatnot. And when I was like being weaned off those, it was like, you know, certain times of the day, and it was just, again, it was just this like need to have some control. And so I just like, I just couldn't eat. And, you know, people say, oh, why don't you eat? I just couldn't. This went on for like all the time I was in hospital. And, you know, they didn't really know what to do, but I really just like feeling the noticeable effects of like starvation when the body starts to eat itself. And the cold that you feel, it's like you got sheet metal running down your spine, and you can't sleep because you kind of, it's like a million ants, over a billion ants just inside you, eating away at you. You try and fall asleep, but your body wakes you up because it daren't go into sleep mode, because otherwise it starts to eat itself. It starts to gorge on any, you know, substance that's left in you. And I was already underweight to begin with, so like this is just like the worst I've ever kind of been. But skipped several months and still eating very little, and I began to have CBT therapy for it. And over the 20 sessions I had, things, you know, everyone knows, you know, it sort of sounds so easy. Well, you know, how did we get you to eat? You know, it's just about retraining my brain in a way to kind of, you know, remember to eat for a start, because you get to a point where you'd have no appetite. So if you don't feel hungry, you're having to force food down. And I'm going to go with this whole program and, you know, dietitians and whatnot. And hopefully I kind of feel as though I've come out the other side now. So I'd say like I'm at the heaviest I've ever been in my life. It's just something else that I kind of, you know, feel like, well, you know, one step to kind of being relatively healthy and, you know, don't know what normal is, but, you know, just functioning, I guess. Because that's another thing, you can't function properly when you're not got the correct nutrients and whatnot, as most people probably know now. But, you know, I just thought I'd like to maybe share that, and hopefully if anyone's listening, you know, if you're a guy, you know, and struggling with it, then don't be as embarrassed as I was to talk about it. You know, just like seek for help, I guess. You know, it is out there. You know, so I know I'll be grateful to the counsellor I had. Never met her. You know, it's all done over the phone because it was during COVID, and, you know, so there was no face-to-face meetings. It's like this woman who fucking changed like one of the major problems with my life, you know, like got me on the mend. Never actually met her. I'm not sure if I want to, so I don't know what I'd say, you know. I know you know, other than the, you know, thank you, but I just don't really know how, what more I could say than, you know, I don't want. But yeah, I kind of like owe that lady a lot, and you know, I'll be eternally grateful for her taking the time and having like a lot of understanding, because, you know, there were weeks when I did have to cancel because, you know, I wasn't in the mood for talking or whatever, and so, you know, but she's always like really understanding about that, and, you know, as long as you cancelled, and when she was okay with it. But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say unless anyone wants to ask anything. Is that it? Cool.
Well, you said at the start, you know, it's something that you'd never spoken about before, and something that perhaps you was quite ashamed of, or it was difficult to talk about. I don't know whether I put words in your mouth saying ashamed, I'm not sure, but it was this kind of notion I got. So how has, in that as a kind of an appeal, how has it been for you to talk about it? Because you're here in front of a camera, the lights on you and a microphone, letting us record you talk about it. So I'm interested in that, how you got from where you got to where you, and how it's been.
I don't know, I kind of sort of felt as though it's something I've wanted to tell people, but you never kind of find the right time, or so sort of I kind of think, well, say I'm gonna tell a bunch of people, but at different times, or what, you know, that's kind of like get it off my chest now, and it's a bit of a difficult one to kind of, you know, fully explain, but I just sort of thought that, it's a subject that I have wanted to discuss and try and, you know, draw attention to, but due to being out of embarrassment, I haven't. And I've never really had obviously never had a platform to before. So like this gave me the opportunity to speak about something, and rather than focusing on the other addictions that I've had or mental health issues I've had in my past, or well, not in my past, but currently, I kind of felt that this is something I could, you know, share now.
It's kind of almost like you fessing up to the really secret thing, the one thing that was kind of like backstop, that you're coming out with and talking about that now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, I can't really give any, you know, of a deeper reason than, you know, just saw it as an opportunity to talk about something that I wish I hadn't been so secretive about, because that's another thing with having an eating disorder. It is very secretive, whether you're a man or a woman, you know, it does keep you within, you know, it doesn't want other people to find out, and it just sort of kind of, you know, wants you to, you know, itself almost, and well, it could do more damage that way. And I think like now you've kind of like asked me, I guess like now I kind it, and I've made it kind of like public. I guess it kind of, you know, and I'm sort of like terrified of going back to wherever it was before. It kind of like gives you less hiding place, you know, less have a hiding space now, knowing that it is out there, you know. And I think another reason I wanted to, like, this is like one of the reasons like I've wanted to kind of not sort of make it public, but I wish I had been able to talk about is because you know, people kind of think because you're not you know, if you people still kind of think I'm still using because I'm underweight, you know, so like, they don't, you know, so it kind of kind of you know, but I'd rather, other than tell them, well, no, I'm actually underweight because I've got an eating disorder, you know, it's rather let the people think that, you know, he's still using, you know. That's an easy go-to, you know. you know, that's what people think fair enough, but like now, I guess that's you know, part of the other reason. You know, it's,
Thank you, David. Has anybody else got anything you want to ask David?
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
So, you mentioned that you've had the therapy for it,
Yeah.
and you're the heaviest you've ever been now, although you still consider yourself to be underweight. Do you feel as if it's been addressed? Do you feel like it's been cured, for lack of a better word? Can it be cured? How do you feel about it now?
I don't know whether it can be cured. I know it's but it's given me better coping mechanisms, and ways of preventing it from coming back. Because it only takes to like skip a few meals and you're down that slippery road again. And I'm not as on top of it as I perhaps should be because, like I said earlier, I haven't eaten yet today. But that's because I still struggle. I have an appetite in the morning, but as long as I sort of like make sure I eat something tonight, I'll be all right. But I was, yeah. So I don't know if it's ever 100%. I don't think it's ever 100% curable. And I don't think any mental illness ever is. It's just finding ways of dealing with it, and prevention is probably the and talking about it, addressing it.
Can I ask what the CBT, did they give you, what kind of strategies to help with it?
Again, it sort of sounds very simplistic to say, it's just, about eating, you need to eat. But I don't know, it's sort of like little subtle ways in which the message is delivered around, a lot of positive regard and, stop, why addressing why you beat yourself up, why you allow the voice in your head to tell you not to do these things. And we never went into anything deep, as to what might have caused it in the first place. It was just kind of, a way of, being able to get something out and, and that's, just to keep trying. Because obviously it's something you have to really want, same with any kind of recovery. You do have to want it, and you have to, because it's funny because it's the total opposite of abstaining from drink or drugs, where you're told you can't use and you can't pick up. Whereas this, you're having to fight it the other way around. You're having to put a substance into your body that you don't want. You have a part of your brain telling you that this is not what you want, this isn't what you need. You fucking throw in all that hard work of years of fucking not eating away, just to listen to this silly bitch on the phone. These are the kind of things that go on in your head when it's trying to have you over. And I guess it's just like finally kind of like thinking, no, this lady's here to help me, and just keeping that voice in the back of your head quiet, which anyone who has any other kind of addiction will understand in when they're being told to put a substance into the body that they know's harming them. Except this way, not there to being told not to. And like with me, it's like I've been told I have to put something in that I knew, I knew, but the addiction, well, I guess it's kind of an addiction, it's telling me I shouldn't be doing. But it's what we need to do to live.
How do you feel when you eat?
I don't like it. I still struggle around food. It's not something I kind of relish. It's not something I think, oh yeah, like what am I going to have to eat tonight? It's just kind of, need to have something. Just, trying to, 'cause after so many years of barely eating, I'd kind of forgotten what I liked and what I didn't like, and so I'm kind of I try to discover new foods and whatnot. Christ, I went 45 years and never had a Belgian waffle, so eating one of those for the first time at like 45, I'm thinking, oh, he's actually pretty nice, so, and but yeah, it's food is still, eating out in public's a fucking no-no, still. Hate that. That's hopefully gonna improve in time, but for now, I'm just kind of, I'm happy to be, doing what I'm doing as best I can.
Do you think it's relatable to your drink and drugs thing as well?
Yeah, I think with very strong comparisons, but I guess, like I said, it's sort of polar opposite of doing, it's you're putting a substance into your body which you need, which is food, and so when you're not eating, you're being told you need to do this, and with drugs, and alcohol, it's the opposite. You're being told, you can't do this, you can't do that, and you shouldn't be doing it. So you have like separate voices saying you can do this, you can't. It's very, very conflicting at times, and having to deal with. But because I was in early stages of recovery when I was having the therapy for the eating. Another thing she said was, it's like the best way for me to stay off the other things is to eat, because you're less likely to be having the negative feelings which encourage you to use if you've got nutrients in your body, and you're not going to try and, talk yourself into doing destructive things via drink and drugs, So that was because I didn't want that to return. So I was, using eating as a kind of I was kind of like excusing my eating when that voice that was telling me not to eat was coming in. I was like saying, yeah, but I'm doing this to stop the other thing, saying about you. It sounds daft, and you talk about having these conversations these internal conversations, but that's what, weren't out loud, but in his internal dialogues and going on.
David, sound like you're battling like numerous entities all the time. Coming in different guys. It's like, whoa! Shit.
It's great. Yeah, that's kind of how it feels at times, but